for me, Ed, I thought it was obvious that the main candidate from this drive is Nelson Piquet Jr. because I think Venturi is quite a luxurious seat going into next season because of that Mercedes powertrain. And we know that Mercedes powertrain is, half decent, and you'd expect Mercedes to make another step forward. And with Venturi having that Mercedes powertrain, and if you're Nelson Piquet Jr., who somehow just turns up for the final 2 races to do a bit of commentary, and all of a sudden there's potentially 3 seats to get his teeth sucked into and start talking to team principals and start making his way. And we have to remember, we talked about it when Nelson Piquet Jr. did his interview with Inside Electric, that, he wants a return into Formula E. And I think if there was a drive that looks quite promising, you've got a good teammate in Eduardo Mortara, you've got a Mercedes powertrain, you've got a wealth of experience of how to drive a Formula E car, I think Venturi could be, and I think we've seen it this season, like they're scoring back-end points. I think Nelson Piquet Jr., if there was a drive that I wanted in Formula E, I think Venturi is a good one.
Yeah, and I agree that Nelson's quote-unquote commentary was somewhat lackluster, that he didn't sound as excited in the race as perhaps he could have been. It's hard to really say, because to me he didn't sound like a driver that was on the verge of getting a Formula E seat, so perhaps he was keeping his cards quite close to his chest on that one. Venturi definitely looks like a better seat than, say, Dragon or Neo, where you're pretty much guaranteed to be at the back. I think it'd be great to see Nelson back. Would he fit in at Venturi? It'd be interesting to see. Massas definitely seemed to fit in pretty well, so I guess Nelson might have a decent chance too. But I wonder if the way that Nelson left Formula E at Jaguar with a bunch of incidents and crashes, I wonder if that might count against him, whether maybe Venturi might be more likely to go for a younger driver for the seat. I think the name that I heard thrown around was Norman Nato, who used to be in Formula 2 and French driver who tests for the team, and there are a couple other names, like we said, that were rolling around.
Yeah, Jake Hughes was the other one. But I want to recap on Piquet, because I still think Piquet, for me, is the favourite, is the top runner at this precise moment. I know, from interviewing Piquet, we all know Piquet from interviews, he's a chill guy, right? He's not someone who gets, overly excited. He's not like me, for example, right, where I can go into a passionate, big rant, talk really loudly, really enthusiastically about something, right, which might be great, which we see Dario and Jack do on commentary, right? And that works well for commentary. I think Nelson Piquet Jr. was really good as, like the side-by-side presenter, giving information about what was going on.
Yeah, he was a good pundit, and especially whenever all you had to do was mention Degrassi, and he would suddenly perk up and talk about, well, it's not surprising to see Lucas lose his cool, and he would throw shade at him, which was hilarious.
Yeah, it was fun, and it was great to see, actually, because obviously we know how strong that rivalry is between those two, but I think it was great as a pundit, right? But they wanted him to do commentary. If you're Formula E and you're thinking, who do I need as someone who might be a bit inspiring, who knows a lot about Formula E, and could actually hold themselves in front of a microphone and be quite decent? Nelson Piquet Jr. is not number 1 on that list. He's not. So I have a feeling, right, I think Formula E have obviously contacted Nelson, but Nelson has said, look, there is an opportunity that I could speak to teams. And then they're like, well, we also need you to do some commentary, so would you mind doing some commentary and some punditry while you go?
Oh, if I have to.
Yeah, okay, all right then, if that's part of the plan that you want me to be in. So why would Nelson Piquet Jr. travel all the way from either Monaco or Brazil, wherever he was staying, right, to come and do a Formula E commentary and not get anything out of it? That's not how Nelson Piquet operates. That is not how he operates. So I 100% believe, and there's other teams that he could have spoken to as well.